Hey everybody, it's Kelly. As promised, I am here to do my December daily prep, and I'm going to check one thing. I'm going to raise my camera up a little bit. This is not normally what I would do for a video, but I think this might be helpful. I think this is as far as it can go too. I think that's going to be helpful when we start talking about the actual prep and I start showing you how I store and that kind of stuff. So, December daily prep. Let me show you, let's see, a couple of things as I'm kind of getting things ready to go. First of all, how do I store my stuff during the year? That's in this recollections container. So I have a recollections container, and then I have one of the old iris trays that you can't really buy anymore. I think you might be able to find them, every so often on eBay and that kind of stuff. That's how I store it. I took everything out because if I didn't do that, it would have been a nightmare. I wanted to put things into my basket in a more constructive and organized way so that you guys didn't have to live through that. So you've seen this container, you've seen the iris piece before on it. So this is just the recollections, the regular crafting storage. And I think I have 3 of these. I use one for Christmas. And then I have 2 now that I'm using for Chamel's Best of Both World kits, because a lot of times you get the kit so early or you pull it together so early in the month before you're going to use it. So I have 2, but that's how that works. My Christmas stash can go no further than this. And it's crazy as I started to pull things out, how much stuff I bought that I didn't think I did during the year. So that's that piece. Questions about what album I'm using, and I talked about this at one point. This is my album. It's one of the Simple Stories albums from this year. This is a little different because this is cream based. A lot of my stuff is going to be white based, but I just deal with that. Simple Stories used to do more of the cream-based ones. So anyway, so there are some inserts in this one, and then you get your page protectors. And what I usually do is, once I get the album cover done, which you will see in the next couple of weeks, I'll film that process for you, I will do the put together in all the album pages. I have extras of these so that I've got a good stash of the different kinds of album pages. So that's that piece of it. So again, Simple Stories album here. So that's what I'll be using. And like I said, next couple of weeks, you'll see this. If you have any questions or you want to get a little bit inspired until things come along, I do have playlists for every one of my December daily processes that I have done. And I think most of them include prep videos, album cover videos, that kind of stuff. So if that's helpful to you, they're in the playlist. I will try to remember to link those once these all go, once this all goes live. But if I don't, just, go to the playlist and they'll be there. So I just grabbed this cute little stocking that will go in it. Now, how do I store my stuff? And I will talk about paper at the end of this, what I do for my 12 by 12 papers, because they will not fit in this basket. So this is the basket I use. It is, I should probably have measured this. It's about, the inside is about 9 1/4 by, I'm gonna say about 13. So let's say 9 by 13 is the inside of the basket. Just a wicker basket that I bought at I think I bought it at Michael's or Joann's, if I remember correctly, but that's my memory. Anyways, and this is quite a few years old, so can't tell you exactly that. And then what I do is I just pop things in here as they come along and then use them. I like this because this sits on my desk the whole season long. So when I'm ready to do December daily, all my stuff is here. And I don't have to think about where is it, what can I pull from, all that, it's all here. And I am going to have a lot of stuff. I'm going to have a lot of stuff. So it's just crazy. You will see it. I also did, just so that you know, my main sort of shell of this, or the products I use, are the Ellie Studio products from the December Documented kit. And I already have a video up with that kit in it. So again, that will be in the 2020 December Daily playlist. And that the core there is the 3x4 cards, which I keep in this 4x6 photo envelope from Copper Hopper. Smaller ones go in this. Let's see here. Let me grab one of those. Usually there's these smaller envelopes and you get 3 or 4 of them in here. I use this for my cards, and last year I had so many I almost couldn't fit them in here. So this is nice that they're actually fitting in here even with the new ones for this year. So I did do a good job last year of using my cards up. So let's start and let's talk about what kind of products I use, why. And this is not just for my December daily. This is my Christmas scrapbooking as well. So I do not put this away and put things back into my stash if there's things like doilies that I would use all year, or lettering, or if I just put it away in that recollections box that I showed you until I have all my Christmas scrapbooking done, because it's just way too easy to pull from this without it pulled all together. So the first thing, let's talk about lettering, because that's the tallest stuff that I have. So I like to keep an assortment of thickers in, you know, reds, greens, all that kind of stuff. I really only have one good green this year, which is kind of something for me to remember. This one I bought, I believe, new this year. I found it at Ben Franklin, and I need to get it into like a regular sticker holder, but this is the Winter Wonderland alphabet. I don't know how old this is, 2019, so that's from last year. So I tend to start with the letters in the back of this just because it's easiest, and I'm actually going to flip sides here so that I can see my, let me get this on here so that I can see my chat just in case you guys have questions. So feel free to ask questions as we go. I'm also going to add in a couple of these L Studio Puffy Alphas because I like to use them for subtitles. This is new this year, this green, and then this candy cane color. I have some sticker alphas here. This is new from Ellie Studio this year, the Jane Tile Alpha. So that'll go in there. And then I just grabbed some more red, green, and white from my stash of letters in Christmassy colors, and that'll just go here. My letters are just to my left, but it is nice to have them there to pull. And then lastly, this is kind of important. Last year, when Ellie Studio did the kit, they added in numbers right into the kit. They did not do that this year. And they do have numbers you can buy separately, but I decided not to do that because I remembered that I have these puffy stickers from another year. So I'm going to try to use these. I won't be able to use, so my December daily, I didn't tell you guys, that goes from actually from December 1st through January 1st. That's how long I run mine usually. Just, you know, that way, I don't know, you get a bowl game in or whatever is going on. So that's what I usually do. But I really liked the fact that I could pull from one set of numbers to use them on the page. It was just a, here's where the number goes. I loved that. This year I'll have to use the black and white. And then I also have the numbers in these stickers here to back it up if it doesn't work. And I've done that for many years where I've just used the numbers from alphas I already have, but this worked really well for me last year. So I'm gonna pop these in here. And then let's talk other kinds of stickers, because I think that's kind of the next place. Now, a lot of this stuff is older stuff, but I still keep it because it's valid. Last year, I made a real dent in a lot of this stuff. So these are some older stickers from Pebbles and American Crafts. So I'm just gonna pop those in here. And I kind of do this so that I've got categories going. And then again, some older just stickers. Actually, this is not old. Some older stickers from Ellie's Studio here, some phrase stickers, and that's kind of how I arrange them by regular stickers and phrase stickers, and then new stuff from this year. And these were all in that video. So stickers, this is a chipboard sticker, and then phrase stickers. So I'll put the kind of the new, well, I'm going to put the newer ones in the back in that particular case. That'll make me use them, right? So there's the stickers. So that's those kind of stickers. I also have dimensional stickers. So this is where I just about choked when I saw what I had bought. So this came with the Ellie Studio collection. And then I have these cute little snowmen, these candy canes, and these gumdrops. So that's all new puffy stickers. And I might put the puffies behind the other stickers now that I look at this. But I already had some of these puffies from last year from Ellie Studio. And then I also have these little coffee cups, candy canes, drinks, and then other assorted stickers. So I have plenty of puffy stickers. Would someone remind me of that next year when the Christmas stuff starts coming out? Because, oh my goodness. So I like to use these for just little, extra little things on the page. And these I'll put front and center, that kind of sprinkly bits there, as Christina says at Redefined Creative. Those are the sprinkly bits. Okay, so then I think these can go in here close enough. And this will flex as I go. Sort of interesting things that are different. I have these very old Simple Stories December documented, like, mats, I guess. So I have a few of those left, so I'm going to pop those in there. And then next, the cards, because those are important. And then in addition to the cards are my die cuts that I'm using. So these are Ellie Studio die cuts, but they're all Christmas themed. So I have pink, red, this is aqua and gray, and then green. So those are all going to go in here. And it makes it easy for me because you guys have seen me how I work if you watch me live. I tend to think I need a green label here, or I need something green. So it's important for me to store them that way, because that's how I think about it. How you think about it might be different, and that's good for you to think about. So then let's talk about other die cuts. I do have a package of new die cuts this year for the December daily, and I think what I'm going to do is when I'm done, I'm going to just add those into those individual piles, because I didn't think about that until just now. I do have some Bella Boulevard ephemera icons here. I bought these again, I think at Ben Franklin before it went out, so I got a good discount on these. These have Santa in, and I didn't have a lot of Santas left. That I remembered, so that's why those are there. I'm going to just pop those in the back. I have some old Pebbles die cuts from last year. I have some acrylic die cuts from last year. I didn't use many of those. I didn't expect to, and I didn't. And then again, more just, this is an Ellie Studio, the white stuff, white die cuts, and then a couple of other more like character kind of die cuts in that. Those I'm going to put behind like my labels, because that's kind of how I tend to use them. And I'm already getting, this is already kind of crazy. What I might end up doing is having to move this as I'm looking at what I've got going on. Kind of one of the next big things that should go in here are these little dishes that I use for what I would call my extras. So in here, I have wood veneer, and I just kind of throw it all together to help finish off a page. There's stars and snowflakes and trees, some little banners that say Noel and that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, and this I have to really get in hand this year if I can, I have these square snowflakes. These are old, these bigger wood snowflakes, and then I have this piece that says holidays there. So I need to get these whittled down. And I did use a lot of them last year, but obviously not enough. And then I have an assortment of washi here. So these 3, I think I kept permanently in my kit, because this says December 25th. These are presents, and this is a red, green, and yellow plaid. But I added a buffalo check, a gingham, a red star, and some green polka dots and plaids, and then also a little green piece there. And then I just kind of rest these in here to go in there. So hopefully this is giving you guys some ideas of stuff that you can pull from your stash too. Okay, so there, I'll put those there. And then in this dish, I have some flare badges. I have these little trees from Felicity Jane. I have a Christmas stamp from American Crafts there. This is just red and green twine, because if you have a tag, I like to put that in there. And I'm just going to pop that in here. So then kind of next big category are envelopes and that bags and that kind of stuff. So I have some craft envelopes. I have vellum envelopes. Some of these are really like this. This was some things that just came from Redefine Creative. These are from last year from my advent calendar. So I used quite a bit of these bags. I'm guessing I'm going to get more, but they're really cute. So I want to get those included. These were really fun to punch like holes in and then add into the book to give your book a little bit more dimension. And then these Pebbles candy cane kind of striped bags that I bought years ago, but it is the gift that keeps on giving. I use them every year. They're wonderful. I put photos in them sometimes. Sometimes I put Christmas lists, just lots of different things in there. All right, next. I have my Christmas stamps here. Normally I would put those there, but this might not work quite as well as I thought. I think a lot of this, normally I try to nest these 3 in together. We'll see how this works. I might have to change how some of this works in my basket as I'm working with it. Oh, the other thing, doilies. So I have some white doilies here in a couple different sizes. I like to add those in, and then some red and pink doilies as well. So I'm going to pop those in. Then this is where things got really out of hand, you guys. So my wood veneer. Put the stamps here and see how those are going to go. So here's my wood veneer. This is new for this year. So I bought phrases and LA Studio. Some of this came in the kit, some of it did not. This came from Redefine Creative. It's tive.com. And that's a Polar Express stamp that I thought would be cute. And then these are leftovers from last year where I have some snowflakes. I do have a 25 that needs to be used. So we'll see what I do with that. And then just other odds and ends, bits and pieces from other years. So I love to use these as page accents and that kind of stuff. So that's going to go in here as well. In addition to that, I have a little bit, I also have this bag of wood trees, large wood trees too. So I will get that in there as well. Then I have some cork. This is old, this is new this year from LA Studio. So we'll get that in there. And then, I'm going to maybe put this behind the wood veneer. Then I have a little bit of acrylic. So these little acrylic stockings, that's all that's left from that collection. And then this December 2020 is for the front of my album. So I'm going to keep that out. And I'm going to grab that 25 because one of the 2 of those is going on the front of my album. And I haven't decided which yet. So we'll get those in there. Again, just a little bits and pieces there. I also have some Scrap and Happy Studio flair from last year that I bought. This is like a cookie flair. I usually make cookies, but I don't know if I'm making cookies this year because we're not going to really be seeing each other. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling during the holidays. So we're going to see. But I'm hoping that I can get my grandkids over here to make cookies and then send them home with a batch. We'll see. And then this is a Hallmark watching flare. I did a Hallmark page last year that was so much fun with this flare on it. So we'll add that in. Then I do have this older Pebbles. This collection is from when? 2018 maybe? We'll see if it says. It's a Cozy and Bright collection. I think this was 2018. It doesn't say. So I have a couple Brads here that I'm just going to stick in there, something to use. And then I have a few leftovers from my more envelopes from my advent calendar last year. There's some tags, a couple of really small cut files that Christina cut, and then a few other odds and ends with stickers. There's a Polar Express piece. There's some snowmen. So I didn't get all of that kit used up last year. Like to do that this year. So I'll just tuck these guys in here as well as just in other things that I can use. And then I have an assortment of enamel dots here. So that's all these different enamel dots. This is new because I think I was missing reds or greens or something. I had green pearls, but not green enamel dots. So these are all, you know, old and new. So we'll pop that in the front because those are little finishing touches that I like to use. And then just for a couple of extras in there. And I forgot to incorporate some stuff. So let me go through the extras and then we'll incorporate that. So these are just 2 gift cards that I got from Starbucks. And I like to pop those in, like punch a hole in them sometimes, just as another decorative element, or you can put a photo on the back of them. Just something a little bit interesting in your book. You know, that's nice to give some texture and that kind of stuff. All right, so let's pop these. I think we've got room for these. We do. I was doubting myself, guys. So, and I think these trees I'll just tuck right there. That'll keep these in line as well. This I can tell you is going to have to go in there because I can see something coming that's going to have to go in that dish. So then I forgot about all this stuff that I ordered from Colorcast Designs. So I have this Colorcast Designs website, and I don't know how much stuff is left or not. So, oh, cool, Barbara, that you're working on yours, and I'm seeing you guys talk to me. So that's nice. That's nice that you're doing it and getting it pulled together. So, oh, hey, Rhonda, good to see you. So you take care. Rhonda's a busy lady because she delivers mail. She's well, I don't like postman, but postman person. So anyway, so these COVID Christmas designs, there's some wood here. There's some wood flowers here, so wood phrases. The Hallmark Lover, and I knew I had that one piece left, so I will use those together. And this COVID Christmas is going on a page somewhere. I don't know where that's going to be. It might be a page about how we celebrate things. Yeah. Okay. So Barbara said she was disappointed that Colorcast was almost out of everything. I think she even did if I remember correctly, she did a pre-order of her Christmas stuff. And then I waited probably, it was a couple of weeks at least, probably 2 or 3 weeks before I actually got it. And that's one thing I don't love about that shop. Honestly, I love the product, but it runs out a lot. So that is one comment I do have, is you kind of need to stay on top of it. So I have ornaments. I have some wood, little plaques with words and that kind of stuff, and some acrylic stars. So we're going to go back and find that little acrylic stockings. We're going to add these other wood pieces in. And this is sort of out of hand, but that's okay. And then these are acrylic as well, so I'll add that in here. Now, right now, this is really tight, but eventually that'll get better as I start to, you know, pull things and that kind of thing. So I showed you all of that stuff, and then I need to add in these pieces that I just got from Redefine Creative. So there's silver and gold stars, and here's my snowflake problem. We'll talk about those in a minute, and then this joy word. So I want to add these in as well. So I'm going to pop those in here in that flare basket, and I kind of know where things are as I'm doing this. And this joy I'll just kind of pop in front here. Maybe we'll put that back. I think I'll put it in by the wood veneer, so I know that's there. Although I was going to say I could put that on the front of my book, but that's probably going to be a little bit too much if I use those acrylics. So my snowflake problem, those of you who have followed me for a while know that I have a snowflake problem. I have been working on it, honest. Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda is a mail carrier. I knew that wasn't right, what I was calling you, so thank you for correcting me about that. Okay, so Redefine Creative Snowflakes. These are things that I had in the past. I did not buy new of these. These are from Hobby Lobby, where I have some aqua. These are like puffy foam, and then these are acrylic. And I love the addition of blue into my book. So my book tends to be red, green, pink, and aqua colored. Blue snowflakes, but I'll be scrapbooking winter scenes as well, so I don't mind that that's in here. And then what I'll do with this stuff is, if I haven't scrapbooked all the winter things, then I kind of put it in my winter files of things so that I don't lose them. I have these Maya Road pieces, and I went and I inked all these last year, so they're ready to go because they were just regular chipboard, and I wasn't using them. And then I have some pebbles, snowflakes. So in my neck of the woods in Wisconsin, we have snow at this time of year. So it makes sense for me to have snow in my December daily process here. This one's kind of big, so maybe I'll do it that way. I'm trying to create like a dam so things can't get around it. I think I talked about this last week that I bought this, this two ribbons, the Ho 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 and the Buffalo Plaid. And I was thinking about using both of these for the front of my book. So I'm going to pop these over here in the pile of stuff that I might use on the front of my book. So that's there so that I don't lose that. I also have a few little pieces of ribbon left from last year that came from my Redefine Creative Advent calendar. Rhonda, I did think of you today because I got a big package in the mail, and I saw your post yesterday. Rhonda's car was full and it was only half her route, so that's crazy. So last couple of little pieces. There's this little stocking. This was from last year. I don't know if I'll use it this year or not, but I think it would be cute to just kind of wrap around like one of the rings and then just pop it in as something a little extra with maybe a number on it or a little gift card. You know, the gift card coming out of it would be cute. We'll see. I want to get this in this year if I can, if I think of it. And then lastly here, of things that I really have to put in here or that I really want to keep in here so I don't forget, I have a tiny little Christmas tree punch that I think came from Hobby Lobby, but it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Hobby Lobby. It's so old I don't remember. I do have, you know, sometimes I'll use hearts, sometimes I'll use stars. I have those punches available, but I don't usually put them in my basket because I do use them for other scrapbooking. And honestly, during Christmas though, because I'm doing a video a day, I don't do a lot of other scrapbooking. So lastly, I have this ornament that did not make it last year, but it's it says naughty and nice, and I think it would be nice if that would kind of, I could get that in my book this year. So then let's talk about, so that's what's going in the basket. And you can see, really easy, really organized, easy for me to flip through. Carrie, let me grab it really quick. I talked about it. There we go. Talked about it early. You probably weren't quite here yet though. This is my Simple Stories. It's a 6x8 album. It's the Christmas album though, so that the rings are bigger. So Christmas album. It does have stuff inside of it. So a couple extra pieces inside of it that you can choose to use or not, obviously. And then I think there's like 10 page protectors in here. I have lots of other extra page protectors. So that's the book I'm using. I'll just leave it there for now so you guys can see that. But the cool part about this is I'm so used to doing this. This is my, I think, 14th year. I think I could go back and count it, but I think I did it for something else. This is the 14th December daily I have done, you guys, which is crazy. And they've had all sorts of different configurations. I do have walkthroughs of albums, even if I didn't do process videos. Before I did process videos, I walked through some of my albums so you can see those. I have some that are 4x6. I have some that are bigger than that. Like one year when money was a little tight, I made one out of a binder. So it's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna walk over here quick because I think I can show you my very first one, I think. Let's see. Yes, here we go. This is Kelly's very first December daily album here. So I took my own chipboard, put basic gray papers on it, tied it together, and this is how simple they can be. So it's a card, a piece of cardstock with a photo on it. I took a stamp and, or I didn't take a stamp, I printed these out, and then just wrote about what the picture was about. So homemade album, and it still works. So anyway, all right, so that's the first one. You know what I'm using this year. Let's talk about paper. So I got this came with one of my Christmas orders. So this is such a pretty paper. I want to hang on to this and maybe use that this year. So I will tuck that in. I'm going to move this so that I can have a little bit more room. We'll just move it over here for the time being. I did order the 2 packages of LA Studio paper this year, so it's 6x8 because it's really easy to cut that up, or it's really easy to line the full page protectors if you want to use like the whole 6x8 page. So this is the basics, which are diagonal lines, grids, and polka dots in all different colors. So it's reflecting badly for me, but you guys can see it, so that's good. And then these are the patterns. So that will be a major component of my album. And that, I'm going to decide where that's going in just a second, because let me show you the other component of the paper piece for me. So you guys have seen this before. Ooh, sorry. This is how I store my paper. Okay, it's a Cropper Hopper. It's a Cropper Hopper file folder, and then I use the Cropper Hopper envelopes, and they have many different kinds. So this is where my Christmas paper is stored. This is my closer to new stuff, if that's a thing. So, anyway, I'm going to take this out. So these are my, these are scraps from years past. This is actually a Santa from last year's, some cards from last year. I've got my larger scraps. If I keep them, I don't always keep them. Sometimes I just distribute them. And then you can tell I really didn't use those pages from last year's book because I did use a Simple Stories album last year. And again, it's really because it's more of a cream-based thing. So I need to use these on a layout. And then what I have in here is just my papers. So my main holiday stuff is coming from LA Studio, but I did go in and I bought some of the Dear Santa collection by Cartabella, I believe. Yes, because it had some greens, some holly patterns, some reds, that kind of a stuff. So that's part of what I bought. And then I did get some reds and some greens when a scrapbook store near me was going out. So hey, Harmony. And these are Lawn Fawn. And these tend to fill, so you can see here, remember I told you about the aqua and green and red? So that's what this is really doing, is that's really mixing really well into what I already have. And LA Studio used to do those colors. They just don't do it so much anymore like they used to. Let's see if I can find, and this is where kind of the color scheme came from. So these pieces of paper, I think, came from Joann's. They are an Old American Crafts collection. I might even be able to tell you what it is because I still have some stickers from it. Except I don't think the name is on it. It's not. But so this is where those blues, greens, reds, pinks are coming from. So I will use this throughout the book to kind of get that. So this is my main file of papers. And I'm just going to kind of put these all together and put them to the side because I want, the one thing I forgot to do is I like to go through, if this is my main paper, I want this towards the front of this pocket when I pull it out. This piece, this sits again right on the side of my desk, right on the other side of the basket from me, so that my paper's all there as well. And then I have 2 other envelopes with paper. This one is some of my older papers that are collections. There's an American Crafts collection in here. There's some Bella Boulevard. So things that I would like to use up, but are too good to either pass along or throw away. And last year, this thing was full, like twice the size. And I really did a good job at getting that down. So I want to do that again this year where I'm working on some of that old stuff. I do have these candy cane doilies that are pretty big in this, and I wouldn't probably use, I could use one of the smaller ones in my December daily, but these are more for the 12 by 12 layouts. So Barbara, those Cartabella papers are beautiful. I love the Santas in that one. So I don't know if I showed you guys the Santa. I should show you the Santa because it's really cute. I saw him. I just don't think, let me show you this. Hopefully you can still get a hold of them. I feel like I've had too much coffee today. I did do my continuing ed class and then discovered I have another one to do besides. I know I had one more, but then I have one more beyond that to do yet. Yay me, fun. I can't count. Anyway, this is the Santa from the Dear Santa collection. He's so cute. So I thought that would be fun, you know, like for the kids. And there's a green snowflake on the back. So very usable if that's how I need to use him. All right, so you saw that. And then lastly, I always have this is another kind of Cropper Hopper envelope. It doesn't have the, it's just, what do I want to say? It's this shaped. It's not envelope shaped. And in here, I have my vellum. And then my specialty papers. And so specialty papers for me are glitter papers. So there's all my scraps, and I just pull these out. I have vellum papers, foiled papers, clear papers with like a little acrylic designs on them, like that. And then I have a lot of glitter in here. And I have the glitter in the gold. Got some gold foil in there too. There's silver in here. I have some white, some red, and some green. I know I do have a piece of the blue, but hey, Glenda, good to see you. I know I have a piece of the blue paper, blue glitter vellum, but I may not end up putting that in here. So I'm just gonna pop that back in here. And then I'm gonna put the other one. I'll keep that one out that I was telling you guys about, that I need to reorganize those papers a little bit. And then I was just trying to decide what to do with these 6x8 papers, because I don't really want them sitting. Let's look at this quick. Here's the 6x6 papers. I'm afraid I did this like last year or the year before. I put it in the side of my basket here of the 6x6 pad, and I forgot about it. So it was 2 years ago. And I've used quite a bit of it, but this collection is really cute, but it had these gnomes and these sloths that they're cute, but I find them hard to use. I mean, I guess if I had pictures of kids sleeping or something, I don't know. Really cool pad. So there are pieces left that are very usable here. I might just pop them in. I'll show you what I'm thinking about. I might just pop them right in the, oh goodness, sorry guys, lots of noise. Might just pop them right in the front here until I start using them. And then that way I'll know where they are. And the other thing I could do is kind of pop them into the side, but as I take those in and out, that's gonna be a pain. So once I put get everything organized in that other paper, I will do that. So again, this is just gonna sit right to the side of my desk. My album sits there as well. And I can just pull from this as I scrapbook and I organize things. It just makes it so much easier. And I finish my December daily on January 1st, normally. If I wouldn't finish it on the 1st, I would definitely finish it on the 2nd. But I think I've always finished it every year on the 1st, that I do something and then I have time to make that layout that day. So I don't have the problem of not getting my December daily done. Now, part of that reason is you guys keep me honest, because 3 years ago, I'm trying to think, I don't remember if it was 17 or 18 where I started doing daily videos. Might be 18, but anyway, I started doing daily videos. So I can't not finish it because I'm doing a video every day, which is great. It keeps me honest. I don't have that problem. Like a lot of people now are actually going back and finishing their December daily. The other thing I love about it is it's just a way for me to celebrate the holiday season. And besides doing December daily, more than 5 years ago, I did register for Chamel's Journal Your Christmas class. So I will incorporate that in, within my stories sometimes as well. Because for me, even though I do it daily, I don't have to do the activity on that day. I have a couple days a week where I work, and I work really, really long days. So like I'll get home at 9 o'clock at night, and I might not have done anything that day except for work. So that day, I might take a picture of my coffee to celebrate that. Or what I might do is take a picture of an ornament and talk about that ornament on a day where I don't have a really big story. Because it's really more about the December daily story of Christmas or of my life at the time, because I usually document, okay, you know, what am I eating for breakfast now? Or, you know, did I make a special, you know, dinner that I'm enjoying now? Or what am I reading now? You know, that I'll probably do that this year because I'm reading a ton this year and we're not going anywhere. So not much anyway. So it's for me, it's not so much about having to have done the activity on that day, but if I do have a fun activity that I do that day, I certainly will document it on that day. So let's talk about what it's going to look like for daily videos. And I'm going to take a seat because I've been standing. What is it going to look like for daily videos this year? So I am planning on doing a daily video this year. It will every day with a caveat. There will be, it will be, I think this year, a combination of pre-recorded real-time videos. So all of my videos will be real-time. So you're still going to hear my thought process. You just may not be able to talk to me. So I don't go through and do a voiceover. I actually talk you through why I'm making decisions and that kind of a thing when I'm doing it. So if it's a pre-recorded video, again, you'll still hear my thought process, just not live. And then I'm planning on trying to also get some live videos in there. Now my videos, I'll start the celebrating of December on December 1st. Some years, like Barbara does, I go from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. I've always gone from something to New Year's Day, but I've found in the last few years that the activities for me in that week, other than Thanksgiving weekend, can be kind of quiet. And as my family is growing up, in other words, my nephews now are older and have families of their own and live in different states. I have a small family. I only have a sister and brother and a mom. So my dad has passed away. And so my brother's always hunting, so he's never here at Thanksgiving. And my sister is often at one of her kids' houses. So some years I don't celebrate Thanksgiving in kind of the traditional way, which is fine. I'm used to not doing that. I grew up in a family where my dad and my brother hunted. So sometimes we had Thanksgiving with my mom's family because my dad's family was up hunting. And sometimes we didn't. After my grandparents went away, we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving with family a lot, other than just my mom, my sister, and I. So a lot of times we just went out to dinner if we did that. Sometimes we made, I don't know, I'm a quarter Mexican, so sometimes we made tacos or something or tostadas or something harder. But anyway, that's a lot of information you guys didn't need. So I find that for me, Thanksgiving is important, except for one thing. I always want a piece of pie on Thanksgiving, no matter what I've had for dinner. So if I'm not celebrating, and sometimes I've celebrated it with my stepkids as well, depending on what's going on and what their plans are. If I'm not celebrating it with other people, I go to my favorite restaurant across the street from where I work and get a piece of pie for the next day. And that's okay because now I've run a turkey trot. The last 3 years I've run a turkey trot, and I will be running one on Thanksgiving morning as well, but I'm going to run the route I would normally run. There's no organized run this year. So anyway, back to that. I sidetrack squirrel. So you're going to be getting real-time, a combination of real-time but pre-recorded videos and live videos. I have a little caveat though. I told you I was going to try to do them every day. I know that at some point later in the month, they will not be every day around Christmas. I've got some stuff going on that I know that's going to be impossible. And I'll give you guys a little warning when that comes up so that you know that not to look for it. And I'll just kind of give you an anticipation of when I think I might be able to do, to get back to doing my videos daily. But you're still going to get one for every day. So like, let's say that I wouldn't be able to give you a video on the 15th and 16th for an example. I would come back and I would do a video for the 15th and a video for the 16th. It helps people keep track a little bit easier of videos. And it's a small snapshot, so it'll be, between 15 and 30 minutes, depending on what's going on usually for the video. So I will definitely warn you when that's coming up. And that's just because this year looks very different for me for the actual Christmas celebrations than it ever has. And I think that's true for a lot of us, right? So I'll give you a hint. My mom's not coming home. I might be going to see her. So at some point during the Christmas season. So that's one of the reasons that I will not be able to do videos, because I'm not hauling all this stuff to go visit my mom. And I also want to spend, I haven't seen my mom in almost a year, you guys, because she lives a long way away from where I have, and she's not traveled and we have not traveled to visit her. So my sister just saw her, and I'm going to see her during the Christmas season, so that some time together. And I will be properly masked and face shield and all the other good stuff. So, because I was really nervous about flying. So anyway, but that's what that's going to look like. I'll definitely let you know. Yes, hooray for moms. I miss my mom terribly. Normally my mom spends part of the summer with me. So she's usually here for 3 months and then 2 weeks at Christmas. And I haven't seen her since like January 6th of last year. So, it will be almost a full year before I see her again. So that's, yikes, that's tough. And my mom's getting older. She just turned 79. So she's got longevity in her family, but you just never know. I don't want to miss the opportunity to see her just in case something would happen. So you guys, that's kind of what I'm anticipating for Christmas. Like I said, so Ellie's Studio is kind of the backbone with a whole lot of other stuff on top. I'm using the Simple Stories album. I got mine, I believe, on scrapbook.com if you're looking for it. But make sure you find one of the Christmas albums, because the binder rings are bigger on these. I think they're like 2.5 inches, if I remember. 2.5 inches? I don't know. Anyway, they're bigger. One of the other things, let's see. I think that's it for just stuff. If you have questions about product or something you think of later, you can always ask, and I'll try to answer that. So you guys have had some good questions or feedback already. So I hope you guys are getting ready or working on last year's, if it's not finished, to get you ready for this year. I just love this. I just love this process for scrapbooking during the holiday, because normally you're busy, right? This year I think I'm gonna have a lot more time to scrapbook than I normally would have. Although I'm starting to think about moving, so that's another piece of life in December for me. It won't be for a while, but I'm thinking about it. It's going to happen next spring. So anyway, but I still think I have more 12 by 12 layouts that I'll be scrapbooking, and I'll try to do, try to kind of maybe think about doing those Friday night lives, but we'll see how that works. With the schedule. One of the things, you guys are here because you're interested in December Daily, but one of the things I want to be sensitive to is that not all my subscribers celebrate Christmas even, much less not everybody, not everybody does December Daily that celebrate Christmas, but not all my subscribers are going to celebrate Christmas. So you are going to see layouts that keep coming. As a matter of fact, I have most of them done through early January. Now, they're all out and uploaded and ready for you, because I know that once Christmas starts, a lot of times I don't have time to do it. I don't think I can think of anything else, but I just saw your comment. Ouch. That's awful that you haven't seen her in over a year. That's so hard. So hard. I have a nephew that I haven't seen in, let me think, 17 months. Because he was studying overseas for almost a year, and he came back. He left. He traveled all over the world that you're working on research for his doctorate. Finished in France and left France the week before they shut France down. Seriously, the following week, the cases in the area he was in started to really spike. So, but he lives away and he hasn't been home. And they have a baby due at the end of the month. So I probably am, it's probably going to be very close to a year before, or another whole year before I see him. So anyway, that's not a fun way to end things. But again, I am so excited for this process. One of the other things that I'm going to do, I probably will actually start doing tonight, is before I start my December daily, I like to go back to my process, or my books from the year before, and I love to look at them. And it's a way of celebrating not just December, but the everyday. I talked about that a little bit earlier. And even in the years that are hard, I have done December dailies during the year that I was divorced. I've scrapbooked through done it 2 years where I lost really close friends. Last year I lost my best friend in August, and so it put a big, it was a harder holiday. This first year that I showed you guys this book, this picture is from Thanksgiving, and my dad is missing because my dad had just died a couple months before. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this book so badly. I think Shmel even talked about that. I didn't do this book because of Shmel. I did it because I was taking a Heidi Swap class called A Year to Remember, and we did an October daily book, and I love the process so much, and it helped me feel better. On top of that, I was going through a divorce. That I did a December one because I didn't want to celebrate Christmas that year. So anyway, you can do this through hard years. That's why it helps you find a little bit more joy if you're going through a tough year. And hello, I think most of us have had a tough year on some level this year, and then it's going to be harder to find joy. So maybe the joy you find this year is that mug that you love to drink your coffee or tea or hot cocoa in, or maybe it's your favorite pair of pajamas or your favorite warm sweater, or maybe if you live in a warmer climate. Barbara, I saw you comment about the warm Arizona weather, and yes, definitely some different pictures. Maybe it's that cactus or the flowers that are blooming outside that you don't normally have time to take a look at, and include those because that'll help you remember when you go back through it. When I look at mine, like that 2007 album, I can see in the words and in the pictures me trying to hold it together and find the joy. But in that process, I did find the joy. And that's the cool thing about this book for me. It's why, even though I'm single, and people are wondering, like, you don't have kids, what are you documenting? But even though I'm single, it's why I do it, because our lives are important, even our daily lives. It's one of the reasons I scrapbook. So that is a Hallmark movie, isn't it? So just remember that. I guess that's another thing that I would encourage you about. Now, the other thing too is I do mine daily. If that doesn't work for you, it can just be the stories of call it that kind of an album, or a holiday daily, or a holiday album, whatever that means for you. Don't feel locked into having to do a story every day. I think that's part of the reason a lot of people get hung up with this process, is they feel so locked into that. Just make it work for you. And so if you, that's awesome, Glenda just said she got more of the flares because of me. Those are really fun flares. That, make the process work for you. And if there isn't a story and you don't feel like documenting your coffee cup, don't do one that day. And then, number or don't number as you feel like. So you might end up with 10 stories for the holiday season, and you might number them and you might not, but that's 10 more stories that you got told. And I think that's one of the things for me that scrapbooking is all about. Yes, it's very picture driven because I usually attach a picture to my layout, but not always. But it's the stories behind that are really important. And they're also the stories now, because I have grandkids and great nieces and nephews that I'm passing on. And my daughter-in-law told me that my 4 and 2-year-old grandkids were looking at the albums from 2019. I mean, that's a reward. So yeah, Carrie, scrapbooking is definitely a form of therapy. So I've been divorced twice. I don't know if I've talked about that. The first one, well, neither one of them is good. My first husband and I are actually friends. My second husband, it was a much tougher process for lots of different reasons that I don't need to throw it on the internet. But one of the things that I did is, when I was going through my first divorce, is that I made a layout called Who Am I Going to Travel With? And it was a picture of the two of us outside of the Biltmore, actually. And I just asked all sorts of questions about, it was very therapeutic, about who am I going to travel with. The other thing I did is I took a picture of the two of us and I tore it in half so that we were separated. It was my favorite wedding picture of the two of us. And I did a layout, and I don't remember what I called it, but it was something that my therapist had me do, was writing pros and like the things I was going to miss and the things I wasn't going to miss. And I documented that all on the back of the layout, or in an envelope, one of the two, I don't remember. Anyway, did that. So I use scrapbooking as a form of therapy. I did a great layout when after my dad died, with a picture of me sitting next to him on the day he died, actually, and I took a picture of him with everybody that was there, one at a time. And I called it One More Day and just talked about if I had one more day with him, what I would do. So I think that that's really cool, that when you're going through that kind of stuff, that you can use scrapbooking as the form of that kind of a therapy. And I know some people don't want to put that out there in albums because it's sad. I think in future generations, that's a full life, right? That you also you appreciate joy so much because you have sadness. And so I advocate for sometimes putting the hard stuff in. One of my grandsons was going through a really hard time not that long ago, and I wrote a note to him about that hard time, and he's through most of it, so that's really cool, and there are strategies to deal with it. So there. Yeah, Glenda, I did keep it. Actually, I have my wedding albums. They're tucked away. They're not on display. But first of all, they were hard work. I didn't want to just burn them. But anyway, so I didn't mean to keep that. But I think that's just a perspective on, we feel like so often we have to scrapbook all those really big moments and all the happy moments. But sometimes it's just about this being therapy. And this year, more than others, scrapbooking has been therapy. You guys, I looked the other day, and I'm over 600 layouts for this year, or pages. Let me say pages, because I count 2-page layouts as 2 pages. So I have scrapbooked over 600 pages this year. And that was finishing up about half to a quarter of 2019. And I'm pretty much current with 2020. I keep getting afraid that I'm going to run out of photos. Anyway, yeah, but obviously I scrapbook a lot. And I was off work for 8 weeks in March and April. And going into it, so Wisconsin went under full shutdown on the 17th of March. The weekend before, I was at a scrapbook weekend. So when we heard what was happening, when they closed the schools, I was there. So I spent 8 weeks scrapbooking and doing online stuff, because that was kind of my therapy for trying to get through what was a really hard time. So anyway, here's the happy thing. There's going to be stuff to celebrate. Christmas is going to come. There's something really important to focus on if you're a Christian. If you're Jewish and you're doing some sort of December book or holiday book, Hanukkah is going to come if you include those celebrations in it. All of it's going to happen. I think this helps me appreciate that time of year so much more. Carrie, that's awesome. I almost said awful. I meant awesome. Anyway, so just do that. I am definitely now, after talking to you, going to go through last year's book and maybe another book or two just to look at it, because it makes me happy. And then I'm going to go watch if you were on last night, I talked about This Time Tomorrow Foundation, and the concert is tonight. So I'm going to go do that tonight. I figured out how to cast to my TV from my phone last night. I'm ready to go. You can, I posted to Facebook, and guys, Facebook for me is just for my friends that I honestly really know in real life. It's not that I don't love you all, but, and I'm sure you are all wonderful people, but not everybody is. So I don't publish any layouts to Facebook, and I don't do scrapbooking stuff to Facebook. I just don't. It's all life stuff for me. So if you're interested in seeing, layouts and that kind of stuff, Flickr. And I should say, and I'm Kelly O'Black on Flickr, I do have photos of all of my December daily layouts in most of the albums I've done, especially the later ones on Flickr as well. And then I do publish scrapbooking stuff to Instagram, and I do just fun everyday stuff to Instagram as well too. So I have a picture of my cats. They were helping me study earlier today when I was doing my continuing ed class that needs to go to Instagram later today. So anyway, and yes, Carrie, that is an awesome idea, that after we do all that celebrating, then we're all going to say hello to a happy, hopefully happy 2021. And hopefully we're through some of the process we are now. So you guys, it's been great spending some time with you this afternoon. Thanks for going along with me. If you have any questions, oh, and the one big thing I didn't remember to tell you is, so I make the memory on the 1st of December. You guys won't probably see the layout until the 3rd. And the reason for that is I create the layout usually on the 2nd. And then I upload it on the 3rd. So for those things that are real time but pre-recorded, they appear 2 days later. So everything will appear. So like on the 5th, you'll actually see that layout come up on the 7th. So I'm a little bit delayed. I don't do it the next day. I give myself a little grace and a little bit of time. This year, I probably don't need it as much as I normally do, but I'm going to take it anyway because I'm in charge of myself. I'm the boss of myself. So I truly am the boss of myself, I guess. So anyway, so look for the videos on the 3rd. In the meantime, I will at some point in the next couple of weeks be uploading the video of my cover once I decide what to do. And I don't know, I'm kind of excited about December Daily. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. We'll see. So anyway, you guys, it's been great spending an afternoon with you. I'm sending you all positive and healthy vibes, and I will be back Friday, as far as I know, to do a live video. So you guys take care. Bye-bye, everybody.